Hey guys, All American Crick, back at you with another review. Today, disappointed you guys a little bit because this was supposed to be horror month, and you can't really judge a book by its cover with some of these shows, I guess, and I really learned. Today we're going to be talking about Trinity Blood. And Trinity Blood, I guess while I'm doing it this month, it's not really a horror anime, I guess. I guess there's some parts that are kind of scary, but it's more like political and action stuff with like some horror themes. But nonetheless, I watched it all the way through, and let's talk about it. So Trinity Blood is basically, imagine if Trigun and Hellsing Ultimate met up and had a baby, like Vash, and they had a Vash clone baby, and that baby was kind of a disappointment. And he was surrounded by characters that looked like Precious Moment figures, if you know what they are. Precious Moment figures are like those like really like teary-eyed like little kid figurines hanging out together that your grandma probably has. I know my grandma did. So Trinity Blood, before I ramble on too much, the story was pretty cool. The series overall, I would say, if you look at it like a sandwich perspective, I know, fat guy talking about sandwiches. From the sandwich perspective, concept, you have your bread. The concept of the show was good. Then you have the way the show ended was pretty good. Everything inside, stale as hell. Not very good, not worth it. The story, basically, without revealing too much, is about Abel Nightroad, who is a priest working for the Vatican in a post-apocalyptic future. And the Vatican in this world is kind of like one of the major governing bodies of the human race. And they have conflicts with a vampiric race and a bunch of subgroups of that vampiric race that kind of have goals of terrorism and just doing other horrible stuff to the world. And our main character, Abel, is not only a priest working for the Vatican, but he is a Krusnik. And a Krusnik is a vampire that feeds on other vampires. So while that is really cool and that sounds really badass, a majority of the time, this guy is just a subpar Vash the Stampede. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, first of all, watch Trigun. It's a great show. Secondly, if you do know what I'm talking about, then you know the character trope that he is. He is your lead character that is idiotic at times and kind of like a bumbling fool and falls over and ends up in more trouble than he should. But once he gets into a fight, he has this badass side to him, and he ends up winning most of the fights. And it gets really formulaic. Trigun did that and got away with it because it was a great show. Trinity Blood did it, and it doesn't get away with it for me because he's not Vash, he's not that cool, and the side characters that he hangs out with aren't really cool either. And the conflicts are formulaic. And it just made the show really boring. It's been a long time since I've watched an anime, and I've been bored from it. And this show, I gotta tell you, I dragged through it, you guys. I only kept going because I promised you guys that I would do this review. And otherwise, I probably would have stopped. I probably would have dropped this series. I feel like I've dropped way better series in my life. And I could have spent my time watching those. Character-wise, like I said, Abel's really disappointing. An overall disappointment I had in the show also would be the side characters. We had some cool side characters from the Vatican that they just did not delve into. There's other priests that were also badass. And just, if they went into more detail about it, it would have been awesome. But no, the characters they delve into are ones that I didn't care about, and they're just overly emotional and just whiny, and it really detached me from the show, which was supposed to be actiony. And I know there's a political side of this that a lot of people like, and some of the conversations in the show are pretty deep, but it's just imbalanced in my opinion. Imbalanced and formulaic, my main complaints. and not enough development of the side characters, really. Presentation-wise, this is where I take a step back, and this show says, Nana Nana Boo Boo, we're better than you. Because for a show that came out in, I believe, 06, this show is gorgeous. And the music is really good. Each character is detailed so well. And just like Ichiki, their eyes look great. They look a little like those Precious Moment figures, as I mentioned. But I know a lot of people are into that art style. I'm not really into this art style, but I realize how good it really is and how good it really was for that time. And the opening theme was okay. Wasn't really my cup of tea. The end theme is great. And I actually looked forward to it at the end of every episode. I was also looking forward to the end of every episode because it meant I was one step closer to stopping the show. So, finishing the show, rather. So presentation-wise, we're good. Both audio tracks are good, sub and dub. The dub does feature, I believe Troy Baker is his name, as Abel, and he does a very good job. Colleen Klinkenbeard from Full Metal Alchemist, Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist, is also in this. Does a good job. And Chris Sabat, the legendary Vegeta, does a great job in this show. So presentation-wise and audio-wise, the show's good. My overall enjoyment, Trinity Blood is a show that looks great, sounds great, is really great in theory, but in execution it just trips over its own feet and crashes and burns, really. We get a cool antagonist in the show, and he's not even introduced until, in my opinion, way too late. And by that point I was just too bored, and it just didn't matter to me anymore. I just wanted it to be over, and you shouldn't have that feeling watching an anime. And it borrows so much from Trigun and Hellsing Ultimate that it just made me want to watch those shows instead, because everything this show does, those shows already did better. So, in my opinion, it's kind of skippable, really. I don't think anyone's going to give me too hard of a time for not watching Trinity Blood. But my overall grade for Trinity Blood is a D. I'm sorry. I do own it. Kind of sad that I do, but maybe it's worth like one watch if you're really interested in vampire stuff and like political stuff and sub action and great presentation. If you're someone that really likes like great looking anime, then maybe give this a shot. But prepare to be disappointed in other areas. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought about Trinity Blood. I mean, am I wrong here? Did I miss a whole bunch of stuff? I'm sure someone's going to tell me how it's such a great show, but in my opinion, it just didn't do it for me. But yeah, guys, make sure you check out my blog on WordPress for a more detailed review of the show and others. Check out my vlog tonight, Monday Night Vlogs, and check out my next review, which is going to be for Blood Sea. Alright guys, this is the All-American Critic, signing out.